review is not what this video is. It's not a review, but there will be a review. That's what I predicted with my supernatural ability to foresee the future. Oh, okay. So, Minority Report. Minority Report is another example of a movie that traumatized me when I was a little kid. I must have been around the age of like 8, 9, or 10-ish. I would assume probably 10. Maybe, kind of. Could have also been 9. And the situation was the following. My cousin had come to visit, and I also had one of my friends was over. I don't even remember as to what exactly the occasion was as to why my cousin was visiting. I just know that I just remember that as like a small detail. And well, my brother had rented, or I guess like just kind of borrowed Minority Report on VHS from a local library. And Minority Report, for those not in the know, is a movie about a not so distant future, next Sunday AD. I'm joking, obviously. In a not so distant future, there are crack babies, and by that I mean like children that are born to like junkies, and because of those hyper something or another drugs from the future, those babies develop supernatural abilities. Specifically, they can see into the future and they can predict crime, and because of this predictive ability, crime can now be prevented before it even happens, which, however, does pose a moral dilemma, because if you arrest someone before they have committed a crime, you technically speaking are arresting an innocent man, even if you are 100% certain that this man will commit a crime, even though he hasn't really done anything yet. So that's the point. And it is based upon one of the many books from Philip K. Dick. If you don't know the name, he wrote Blade Runner, as if in the book was called Do Android Dream of Electric Sheep, and he also wrote The Man in the High Castle. But enough about that. So basically, the movie is this like action-packed thriller where Tom Cruise is running a lot. Yeah, I know that doesn't really tell you all that much. There are loads of movies where Tom Cruise is running. In fact, that's when I finally got around to watching the movie for the first time in full, which was like a few weeks ago. I had to stop at some point because I needed to get some sleep. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop the movie once Tom Cruise starts running again. And like 2 minutes later, as if I had conjured up Tom Cruise's absolute undefeatable will to just start running, he was running again. So yeah, back to the point of this story. Back then, I was 9 or maybe like 10-ish, and that rented the VHS of Minority Report. My brother and my cousin were about to watch it, and I thought, oh yeah, I might just watch it too, because like it looks like something science fiction-esque, and I liked science fiction even back then. And as it happened, the movie was rated 12, like as a general rating in the German media, so such and such rating system. And my brother, more jokingly, I believe, said like, yeah, no, this movie is probably not for you. I mean, it's rated 12. And I still kind of stood my ground saying, yeah, no, I can take it or whatever. Being the dumb kid that I was, not understanding just how exactly that movie is going to go, and specifically not how it's going to start. And the movie the movie starts with a very impressive and really disturbing scene of the events of an upcoming murder being shown to us via fast cuts, odd filters, and somewhat blurred audio. And once that is done, after like you've seen something like lots of blood, scissors, I think a bathtub flowing over and something like that, you see a face, a pale face, look directly at the camera, eyes wide open. And then it says, murder. And it vanishes into the water in which it is floating, as if in the water then submerges the face. And that was fucking disturbing. At least back then it was. Watching it as an adult, I have to admit it is still creepy, but like not as disturbing. But as a kid, holy fucking shit, was that absolutely horrifying. Like basically I didn't even know what the hell was going on. My mind just kind of went, oh my god, is that a corpse that it just had just died by drowning talking to me? Or what exactly is going on here? Now, had I kept watching the movie, I would have probably started to understand that the idea behind that person was not that it's a corpse that is talking, but that it's like a person that has basically the equivalent of a seizure while receiving predictions from the future about a murder. And yeah, that was how Minority Report completely fucked me up, at least completely traumatized me back when I was like 9 and 10-ish. Because the next thing I know, I just fucking started. I mean, initially I didn't really react, but I was disturbed. And then a few minutes later, I started to cry. I just remember that. Like bawling my eyes out because of just how terrifying that was. It took me a while, and by that I also mean I kind of forgot about the movie in the years after that, like up until I was maybe like, I'm pretty sure I could have watched that movie without too much of an issue when I was like 13, but I didn't because I kind of had forgotten about it. Then I saw some online reviews, and the thing that made me rewatch it like a few weeks ago was a review of the video game. Yes, there is a video game about Minority Report, which, however, does not feature the likeness of Tom Cruise, which is really fucking weird. Anyway, a video game review by the Spoony One, upon which I stumbled in the weird, endless depths of YouTube. And I've thought to myself, this movie really fucking traumatized me as a kid. I should definitely go and watch it. So, what do I think of Minority Report? It is imaginative, it is exciting, and can be cool at times, but it has that early 2000s twang to it. And even though it's a Steven Spielberg movie, it could be better. There's this whole thing with the balls, like there's those marbles that could like, they have like carved onto them the names of the victim and the murderer, or the victim and the perpetrator of the crime, once the prediction has been done by the floating drug babies. And then it just kind of rolls down like a like a like a bunch of tubes, but it just looks really cool, but it just seems really fucking pointless. And as one of the many issues of how exactly this whole thing is supposed to be as effective as it needs to be, because the issue is that sometimes between the prediction being made and the crime occurring, there's like maybe 10 minutes time. And sure, in theory, the special police force of Minority Report does have jetpacks, but they do still have to get there. And it's also really weird that they first have to go from the room in which the marbles are being carved to another room in which they have their jetpacks, and that the marble machine makes it sound like it's a toy. That the marble machine is not like part of the jetpack room, or maybe that they're always ready to get going. Never mind the fact that at some point they also kind of don't use the jetpacks, even though it would be really beneficial. It is still an entertaining action movie. Would I recommend it? Maybe. Honestly, I just for shits and giggles, maybe read the book first. I haven't done it yet, but like I'm pretty sure the book will give you a better and a more well thought out version of this world that the movie, probably due to time restraints, could not accurately depict. Is it a horror movie? No. It's a science fiction movie with elements that could come into the territory of horror because it's about murder. Why did it fucking terrify me as a kid then? Well, I looked like a fucking corpse talking to me about murder. That's terrifying. And an instant of thing is terrifying me has something to do with that. But this time we're talking about fantasy, not science fiction. So with that said, good night and good luck to whomever you are.